Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa and I will be talking about the impacts of roads on wildlife. So, to start off, I am going to add a little warning sign. In my next slide, there will be images of roadkill. So, if you don't want to see dead animals, then you can um, maybe skip this part or not look at the screen until I move on to the next um, reasoning. The images aren't too gruesome, but I still wanted to address this just in case anyone is sensitive to this kind of material. All right, so I'm going to start off by talking about the increase in mortalities due to roads. It is estimated that 1 million vertebrates die on the roads every day in the United States. Obviously, this number is much higher globally, but I don't really know that statistic right off the bat right now. Um, But given that just in the United States, it's 1 million and counting vertebrates that die every day on the roads, I can only assume that this number can be like 10 times higher on a global scale, if not more. Um, when a road crosses through an animal's habitat, those animals are more likely to be killed, which then leads to a decline in their population. For example, I'm not sure if any of you guys have gone to Santa Cruz, but when you head towards Santa Cruz, you're driving through a really um, big ongoing highway that passes through forests and through mountains where deer and a lot of other animals inhabit there. Um, the deer population specifically, I feel like, is the one that's the largest there. There's signs posted along the highway saying that there's deer crossing, and you actually might find that there are a lot of um, dead deer, unfortunately, on the roads due to them being struck as they wander around. Mortality rates are also linked with movement patterns. So, when talking about deer in this case, these animals have large home ranges since there's a lot of forest in Santa Cruz or near Santa Cruz. Um, so, these animals are accustomed to traveling long distances, which increases their chances of encountering a road and probably getting struck. Um, this doesn't just pertain to deers. This also goes for smaller animals such as birds that want to go from one side of the road to the other, squirrels, skunks, etc., etc. Um, so, another way that roads affect our wildlife is by altering their habitats. Um, So, roads being built on the natural habitats of animals can result in animals not being able to cross the road without havoc and without the chance of being killed. Birds may restrict themselves from flying across roads to get to the other side of where they're trying to go due to the disturbance from the road, which then restricts their movements and travel. Um, and I just want to emphasize on the fact that it's not just ongoing traffic that disturbs these animals. As you guys can see, I included a picture of construction work getting done here. This obviously adds a lot of disturbance to the animals that live in the forest or wherever the construction is specifically being done. Um, the noises that the machines make, the talking from the construction workers, the chemicals that are in the materials of what they're using, all of it either directly or indirectly affects these animals. Um, and because of roads, animals may also struggle with not being able to access particular habitats. For example, right now we are in the middle of summer, it's hot, it's dry, it's terrible for us. So imagine for the animals. So in times like this, where we're in a drought, roads can prevent animals from reaching water if the water is on the other side of the highway. Um, this puts animals at risk of dying from dehydration, not necessarily getting struck, but other, you know, forms such as like dehydration, not being able to reach shelter due to the man-made things that we have built. Lastly, I am going to talk about pollution. The United States Environmental Protection Agency states that a typical passenger vehicle emits about 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide per year. Um, this assumes that the average gasoline vehicle on the road today has a fuel economy of about 22.2 miles per gallon and drives around 11,000 miles per year. Every gallon of gasoline burned creates about 9,000 grams of CO2. Given these statistics, I can only assume that the number is actually much higher, especially taking in larger vehicles such as buses, 18 wheelers, 15 passenger vans, etc., which then add a significant amount of carbon dioxide to our atmosphere. Those cars obviously have bigger engines, they need to use a lot more power. So um, I think 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide is actually probably like 5 times higher, given all the other kinds of vehicles that there are. Um, but not just chemical pollution affects our animals, noise pollution is also a very big issue. Noise coming from cars add disturbance to our birds and to all of our surrounding animals. And again, I want to add that not just uh, disturbance from ongoing traffic, but also things like construction. Um, if there's any like restaurants or attractions nearby that cars are coming like in and out from, like noises from people, music, speakers, all of that adds to it. Um, so, noise from cars specifically impacts birds by disrupting their acoustic communication and interfering with warning signs. Um, this prevents the animals, obviously, like from communicating with each other from potential dangers, maybe that aren't human, but they aren't able to really catch on to those signals just because of all of the distractions and uh, noise levels coming from the roads. Um, Animals that rely on light for the control of biological activities can also be impacted by the lights along the roads. For example, lights can affect the routes that bats fly in, and they can also affect hatchling sea turtles. Sea turtles, they actually use light to navigate to the ocean. So when they see lights coming from the roads, they might get confused and actually head towards the roads rather than the ocean. Um, this then can lead to them dying from dehydration or even from predators. Um, and they also like run the risk of getting struck by cars due to the fact that they never reach the ocean. Um, so, roads, we as humans are probably grateful for them. They take us from point A to point B a lot quicker than regular streets. But I think it's mindful to um, take a look around our environment and see how our actions and how our day to day life affects the species around us. So, yeah, that is it for my presentation. This is my citations page. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something from my slide deck, and thank you guys for watching.